Hello and welcome to episode 7, right? Episode 7?
Sounds
Episode
right.
7 of the We Were Athletes Once podcast. Yes, this is episode 7. Probably should have known that before hit record, but it's okay. My name is Kyle. I am joined by Cody.
Hello, everybody.
And we are back with more baseball content. Real quick, sorry we didn't do an NFL episode this week. I have been fairly sick this past week, and my throat has been killing me. It still is. I'm playing injured, but I'm going to power through it. And we're kind of going to have a different episode this week. This week, we normally talk about all the games that have happened over the past week or so, and talk about the contenders and how they did. But this week, there's been some news that's came out from Major League Baseball, or not news necessarily, but more an idea of what could happen for the future. I'll go with that. Rob Manfred talked at the Little League Classic, and he was talking about potential expansion, potential realignment, and it has been an interesting topic over the past week or so. Because for my whole life, there have been 30 MLB teams. Just something to make Cody feel old again. I was
When
born
was the
after
last one? 98?
97.
Oh,
So
gosh.
I was born after the last MLB expansion. Um, just
That
make him
was,
feel bad.
the Diamondbacks and Tampa? That's
Yes, I
the
believe
back
so.
then the Devil Rays with
Yeah.
those sweet logos.
I honestly, it might be a hot take. I kind of prefer the Rays logo now.
Nope.
Um,
I don't I don't know what it is. We could do a jerseys episode of something
we
of
could.
all sports because I'm pretty much avidly opposed to most new uniforms. I don't think they do a good job of making new uniforms. They're very simple and boring. And I kind of like some of those gaudy, bright colored old uniforms. Thought they were super cool. Like some of the City Connects that they brought out, where it's kind of those weird designs with different colors. Like I love what the Rockies are doing with those City Connects, the purples with the big mountains in them. I'm like those are super cool. Like bring that stuff back. I love it. But yeah, I but I also do like there's some new school stuff. Like I like San Diego's neons, but maybe I'm just a crazy neon person. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I hated the Marlins old uniforms, like the
the
Florida
field
Marlins uniforms.
when they
And
won the
then
World Series.
yeah, and then I kind of liked the original Miami Marlins with like the orange and the yellow and
Oh
all
no,
that.
I hated the orange.
I kind of liked it, and now I kind of don't know how I feel about the like. I like the Miami Vice type
I love them.
feel to it, but
Yeah,
and maybe one of these new expansion teams might have some gaudy colors that
depends where they
Cody
go.
might love. Yeah. Um, so what we wanted to do this episode is we wanted to kind of break down what that expansion might look like and what that realignment might look like. Um, and I think it's pretty safe to say we're looking at two MLB teams coming in,
Yeah,
expanding
they're
from 30 to
they're
30.
not gonna they're not gonna put in one and make it 31. They're gonna keep an even number.
Yeah, like
And
who would do a thing like have 31 teams
yeah,
for 2 years?
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you don't want to mess up alignments where you're sitting six in a conference and five in another. Like it gets messy and weird, and people complain about fairness, and who cares about that? But if you put it into 32, there's some real easy ways to break that down of how we could do this. So yeah, I think it's going to be two at once, unless they finally are like, hey, we're going to move a team. But I just don't see that happening. Not with where it's at and the talks of so many team or cities wanting to get teams into the league.
Yeah, and we're already in the middle of one relocation. I don't know if they would do two at the same time.
Well, especially with
And
how
this first relocation is a disaster.
yeah, I'm like with how terrible it is. They're like, man, we can't do that again. This is awful. Not unless there's a stadium already built in that city, ready to go.
Hey, Rob Manfred said baseball will be played in Vegas in 2028.
Yeah, but our Manfred can't be trusted. So he's
Um,
an owner of a major sports franchise. Can you trust a word that comes out of his mouth? No.
he wasn't an owner. Selig was an
Or
owner.
sorry,
He
sorry.
was part of the MLB front office for a while. I think he worked
He's still a
either above
commissioner
or
of a
under Joe
league.
Torre. Yeah.
He's gonna say whatever he has to save face with all of baseball. And if he said anything but that, people would tear him apart.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Rob Manfred, like that, this is obviously it has to be part of the conversation with Rob Manfred because he was the one that brought this up, and it's his say at the end of the day as to what is happening. But I think this has also kind of opened up another conversation on Rob Manfred's legacy because Rob Manfred has done a lot of things for Major League Baseball. Some of them have been good, some of them have been bad. Some of them we still don't know how they're going to turn out. And you get kind of a mixed bag as to what people actually view Rob Manfred's legacy as. How do you think? And this is his last contract that he's going to have as the commissioner of baseball. He's going to step down once his contract ends in 2029, I believe. So, real quick on that, what do you view his legacy as?
Um, Man, it's hard because I feel like almost with every major sports league, at the time that the commissioner is there, they're not viewed well for the most part, unless they're saving a sport from some major disaster going on or get them out of like I don't know some just unless there's something horrible going on that they pull them from. I feel like most commissioners don't get viewed very well. Um, like Roger Goodell, I think has done a good job for ownership. I don't think a lot of fans necessarily like or trust him. Um, Adam Silver, I mean that dude's an alien first of all, and you can't convince me otherwise. Like they watch Men in Black and they're like, yeah, we're gonna put that dude with an alien and no one's gonna suspect a thing. No, you're not fooling us. Um, Gary Bettman in the NHL can't get up to talk or give a speech or say anything at the NHL draft without being booed ridiculously. Like it's just, and I kind of think Manfred's the same way. Like I don't think he's viewed all that well. I think at the moment his legacy is the changes that he made, and whether they stick long term, I think could be a determining factor of how he's viewed once his tenure's over. Um, but the pitch clock, the extra innings, the DH in both league, like all of those things, I think are going to be some of the things that he's going to have to hang his hat on. And some people like those things, some people don't like those things. I'm a person who's a little bit mixed on them. I like some of them and I dislike some of them. But I think if he can get this expansion done in his time and it goes well, um, he's going to be viewed pretty highly, in my opinion.
I I think I, like you, have very mixed opinions on Rob Manfred because I do think he did a lot of really good things. I think whenever you think of the big thing that comes to mind with him is the pitch clock
Yeah.
because he has shaved, or the pitch clock just in and of itself has shaved, what, like 25 minutes or so per game off of like the game time. And I do think that's something that's been a goal of Major League Baseball for a while now because the farther down the line you get, the shorter attention spans tend to get, and you don't want to have 3 hour games all the time.
You ain't got to tell me. I can't
Yeah,
keep
Cody's a middle school teacher, so
I can't
he
keep kids focused for 40 minutes. Jeez.
yeah, so a 3 hour game gets rough sometimes. So being able to shave these games down to 2:15, 2:30,
Mhm.
it does help a lot. and I was very mixed on the pitch clock, or I didn't really like the pitch clock at the beginning. It started to grow on me. The DH in both leagues is the same thing. I enjoyed the strategy of pitchers having to hit and having like what the manager is going to do next, like when he uses a pinch hitter, when he takes his pitcher out, the double switch, everything with that. Um, but that's also something that started to grow on me. Now, something that will never grow on me is the ghost runner at second base. They need
Stupid.
to get rid of that.
Stupid.
I don't like it. I don't think anyone likes it.
No.
I doubt the players like it.
I know pitchers hate it.
Pitchers hate it. Um, and I think expanding the league in what will probably be the last expansion for a while, because I think
Yeah.
every league is pretty set on 32 teams. Because I think the next number you can really go to after that's like 36.
Yeah.
So like it might be like a you expand to 34, 20, 30 years down the
Yeah.
line,
It's hard to go
and
to
then
34 because then you're
3 years
looking.
later you go to 36, something like that.
Yeah, because if you go to 34, you're like, okay, I got to split this league in half, and now we've got 17, and no one likes the odd numbers for divisional alignment. So it just doesn't work well without going up by four almost, unless you're taking a really creative approach to how you're going to realign, um, which I'm not opposed to at least one of those, but I don't think it's feasible.
Yeah, and you even think about like what happened after the last expansion where the NL had 16 teams and the AL had 14 for a
Yeah.
while when the Houston Astros were still in the NL Central. Like that's kind of what you get whenever you have a number like 30 or 34 or a number that you can't really make even with this.
Which
So,
is weird because most sports were at 30 for so long, and it's just been recently that most of the leagues have gone up to the 32, which just seems crazy to me that there was so much money to make in it, and it makes scheduling and putting everything out there easier when you have that number that it took as long as it did to go from 30 up to 32. But baseball also expanded a little later. I'm trying to think of when some of the other sports put in a couple more
I
teams
believe
to
they
get
did,
to even
yeah.
30. So I don't know, it's just weird. I think 28, like you said, we got to go in fours. So 28 to 32 should have been the trying to make it quickly happen, and it's taken, you know, almost 30 years.
Yeah, also adding 4 teams at the same time is kind of a lot.
No, it's not possible to do. Not when you're doing an expansion.
Yeah, but I kind of want to look at the options for what this expansion could look like before we talk about the realignment. So,
Okay.
I came up with a couple different teams that, or a couple different cities that I could see having, or like being in the serious conversations for another team. So I think about Portland, Oregon has been a city that has been dying to have a big league team for a while. Nashville, I know there's a huge push for Nashville from a lot of celebrities even that live in Nashville. Montreal is an option. They, way back when had an
Well,
MLB team.
Expos. Were you alive for the Expos?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they moved to Washington in '04,
Okay.
'05. I think '04 was the last year of the Montreal Expos. But they had a team way back when. There were talks about, maybe a relocation to Montreal or getting an expansion team again at some point. There's teams like Salt Lake City, Charlotte. Maybe if you want to give Florida 3 teams, like in
No,
the NFL, you can
no.
go to Orlando or something like that.
They can barely support two teams.
Yeah, I,
That is a
I
team that honestly should be relocated because they can't get enough fans.
that was
Both
the
of
thing.
them.
Whenever Tampa Bay was in serious talks about relocating to Montreal, I didn't hate that idea,
I still don't hate that idea.
and I would have much rather the Rays relocated than Oakland. But whether it's from that list or from somewhere
Okay, I
else
got
that
another crazy one.
which one's that?
You didn't say it, and I think it. We haven't touched this market yet, but it makes too much sense with baseball. I don't know the logistics of how it would work, or if people would want to go play there. Maybe because of the national makeup of the MLB,
You talking
Mexico
about
City.
Mexico? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought about that too. I just kind of like you said, I don't really know the logistics of how that would work.
and when I say that, I don't think that's a realistic option right now, but I think it's a I think it could thrive and be really big there. If you gave Mexico a pro sports team outside of soccer to cheer for, like I think fans would flock there, especially if you got a couple decent players that are born and raised in Mexico. I think it could be huge.
Yeah, I think that's a fair option. But out of either out of those teams that I mentioned or out of other teams that you might think of, what do you think are the most likely options, or what do you think are the options that you would prefer?
I think Nashville's a lock. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that they will go to Nashville. Um, it is it is a city that is growing and thriving. There's tons of celebrities there that can support it, and you can put big names in the crowd to show to draw fans. And there's enough businesses there that can support paying and helping fund that team. So I think, and I feel like we've been hearing about Nashville getting a team for the last like 8 years of a potential expansion whenever it happens. So I just think there's been too much smoke over the years for them not to get one. It makes too much sense to me. Um, Out of those other ones, I mean, I want to say I like Portland. Um, And I think when we talk about realignment and how that could work, I think geographically, Portland makes a lot of sense. I don't know how they support baseball, though. I'm not sure. Um, so I like the idea of location. I don't necessarily know how it would do. Um, but your other options, I think Canada makes too much sense also. Um, the Blue Jays are huge there. They love their sports. Yes, they've got 6 hockey teams, and they're all supported well. And every time expansion gets brought up, they're like, "Let's put another team in Toronto. Let's put a team in Quebec this
I think
time."
there's a
Like,
big difference in the market in hockey in Canada
I,
and
I
baseball.
think you'd be surprised with how big baseball is there. Um, if you even watching like Little League World Series and stuff, Canada is well represented, and if you like research into it, a lot of the big pro sports players coming out of Canada were Little League baseball players. There just wasn't enough around, and it was too far away for a lot of them to get to professional games. I think Canada putting one in Toronto, where it is now, and putting one in Montreal or something like that. And if we talk about Montreal, like you're drawing a little bit of a different crowd too because it's French speaking country. Um, and so it could draw a little bit different interest as well. So I think Canada could easily support 2 baseball teams. They're geographically far away from each other, so it works. I think Florida's a terrible option. Um,
I do too. I
Charlotte,
just had to throw it out there.
yeah, I've heard they're like, oh, let's put one in Orlando. Okay, move the Marlins there, move the Rays there. I don't care. Neither of those teams draw a big enough crowd. I don't want to move the Marlins. I like Miami having that team and kind of that Cuban flair that they have there. Like I think that's good for that city and it fits. I think Tampa though, like it's such a bad draw. Like the Trop, I don't even know. Is it called the Trop anymore? I doubt it
Right
is.
now, they're playing at George Steinbrenner Field.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's right because their stadium got destroyed. Again,
fun
another
fact:
reason.
we know someone that was at the Trop the week the roof got blown
Oh
off.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out Max Miller.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, one of our buddies went there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, but like honestly, if I'm looking at this, if there was a way like for me to get what I want, I would put a team in Mexico. I would put a team in Canada. and I would move, like, if you really want another Florida team, I would move Tampa to Orlando, and I think it would be a bigger draw. You've got the tourists, you've got actual people who live there and are willing to drive into that city. Um, but realistically, the only reason I don't like Charlotte in this list is because I think Nashville's a lock, and I don't think you can go Nashville and Charlotte. But I don't hate the idea of Charlotte. I think they could use a professional baseball team and be good with it. So I think if Nashville is off the table, then yeah, Charlotte would work for me. But realistically, I see Nashville and I see either Montreal or Portland. And honestly, I think Montreal makes more sense in my mind.
So I was looking into this just before we got on the air, and it seems as though right now the most likely options are Nashville and Salt Lake City.
I forgot about Salt Lake City. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would fit geographically to kind of split the difference, put someone out there by like in between Arizona, Colorado area, because Colorado's kind of in no man's land out there.
Yeah. Salt Lake City has been a team that's kind of pushed for a team for a while. I believe there's a guy out there that has really made an effort into putting more professional sports in Salt Lake City. I believe he owns a soccer team. Uh, I believe it's the guy that owns the uh, Utah's NHL team.
Mammoth,
Yeah, that.
which
Uh,
potentially getting sued over, but whatever.
yeah. Um,
Yes.
I don't pay attention to expansion teams until they're
They
act.
played in Utah last year. They're gonna
Yeah,
they may be a playoff team this year.
yeah, they
Come
weren't this
listen
year.
to us on hockey when we get there.
Yeah, but it seems like those are the most likely options. If I had my choice, I would do Nashville and Montreal. Um, I think I've seen MLB Network's documentary that they made about the Montreal Expos, and it just showed how much love they had for their team. It just didn't always show because they had a lot of bad
They
teams.
were not great.
And I believe Jeffrey Loria owned the Expos at
Doesn't
that point.
help either.
Yeah, that's probably a big reason why. But there was a lot of passion. It was a lot of fun whenever they had the Expos, and I think it would be amazing to see baseball come back to Montreal.
I would absolutely love that. Bring the Expos back. Don't rename it. Give them the Expos, and I think the fans would go insane.
Yeah, have a
Um,
little Cleveland Browns situation over
yeah,
there.
100%. The one thing I didn't think about, though, like I said, geographically, I felt like Portland makes a lot of sense for division realignments. One thing I didn't think about Portland of being able to support it, I didn't think about Nike. And Nike's got a lot of money to throw around. And where is Nike based? It's based in Oregon. So I think they're, now that I'm thinking about it, if MLB really wants to go out there, I think they can make it work. My only concern is what kind of draw is baseball going to get there? Are fans going to show up? Um, but I think they have the means and companies there to support it and make it work. But I also look at it and I go that market's probably like starving for or for any major league sports team. After they lost to Supersonics, and then there was talk of them potentially coming back, and I just think that that is a fan base that maybe another sports team could do well.
Are we
But
talking about Portland or Salt Lake City?
Portland,
Okay.
sorry, I moved on to Portland. I mean, Salt
Um,
Lake makes sense with like them getting a hockey team. Like they've shown well, like that is a team that or a fan base that can support a team. Uh, Going from Arizona to Utah, they've put in money they've never been able to pour into a roster to be decent. So if it's the same ownership group, then they're willing to spend the money. It could be a good team. Um, I just don't see that as exciting as a couple of those other locations. Um, and we know MLB wants to make money in the biggest market that they can.
and I will say, I'm talking, as these are probably going to be the two teams as it's currently looking like the most likely option. at the end of the day, MLB will do whatever will make the most money.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily see how Salt Lake City does that, but maybe they know something I don't. As you
You
might
never,
see in the next few minutes, I do not get paid for this stuff, nor should I.
you never know who's got really deep pockets in Salt Lake.
Yeah. Um. So something that I decided to do, and this is just my own thing. I didn't tell Cody about until a couple minutes before, so I don't believe did it. But I think we have a couple examples we might look at from other people.
I believe in it. I don't believe in you doing it, but I believe in other people getting it accomplished and us
Oh
being
yeah,
able to
no,
critique it.
no. I've seen some that are really bad,
Oh, me too.
but I've seen some that are really good.
I agree.
Um,
I think there's some legit options that where you don't have to go this way is the only way. I think there's a few ways that work, and it looks pretty decent.
yeah. So what I've decided to do is I tried my best at realigning the league with.
Please tell me you hand drew a picture.
I didn't. I should have, but I decided to do that.
Plus,
Probably.
bust out the crayons and start circling your areas of teams.
I do have a map of all the big league teams up, so I could theoretically do that.
You
I
could.
won't, but I
I was
could.
gonna say you could probably share that on here. I don't know how that works, but
I think I looked at possibly doing that, and I haven't seen an option to. That might be something that we are able to do as we continue
at
to
some point.
make our quality of content better with some of the uh, some of the ways that we are talking about doing
Listen, at this point, I just
it.
believe we're going to be 2 years into this, 500 episodes in, and every episode Kyle's going to be like, we're still learning, and at some point, we're going to figure this out and do it well.
That is possible. Yeah, we're hoping within the next few months, maybe, hopefully, question mark.
We'll
We
see.
might have some different ways of making the quality better in terms of like our cameras, in terms of where we are at. You know,
You
there's a lot of
mean
different things that.
you mean not my laptop that the first three panels on the left-hand side are blacked out because I've dropped it?
Yep, that's the one. And Aaron on his phone.
And Aaron
Aaron
on
was on
his
his phone when he did
Hey, it didn't look all that bad,
It looked pretty
surprisingly.
good. It kind of looks better than my
I
camera,
know.
and I think I have the best camera quality of all of the laptops.
Well, I have an iPhone XR that's cracked and like 7 years old, so it's not my phone. All
So
right, realignment, Kyle. Tell us what you came up with.
okay, so what I did, I have four teams in each division, and I have eight divisions. I did not break them up into leagues because
Ooh.
I don't know how they are planning on that working. I
Doesn't
don't know.
matter. It's your realignment. You break it up how you want to break it up.
The way that it makes the most sense to me is by splitting it up into Eastern and Western Conference type
So we're the
things.
NBA and NHL now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the American League and the National League, like if we're talking about playing the teams that are the closest and saving, travel time and all this, that's probably the best way to go. I think the American League and the National League, it has a nice like,
Quick question.
yeah.
Does your Eastern and Western Conference match up with the NHL and NBA's teams that go with their cities in the Eastern and Western Conference? Because I think fans will hate it if they're like, we're the Eastern Conference in this, but the Western Conference in that.
I do think the lines are a little bit blurred
Isn't
once we get
is
to like
here's my first one. Is Minnesota in the East or West?
in this Minnesota would be in the East.
Yep, you already screwed it up.
I did, but there's also different cities that have different teams
Yeah.
in these. So it's
All
what
right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
that's how it sucks living in Middle America sometimes. But
Welcome
so
to the
for the
Central.
I'm going with the Western Conference first because I just went left to right.
Okay.
One of my criteria for this was there are three rivalries that I think under no circumstances should be separated.
So before you start, you have already told me two teams and everyone, and this is one that's going to be good because I know a lot of the realignment proposals that have been put out there separates this first one.
Yeah,
So my guesses are you are keeping the Dodgers and the Giants together.
I am.
You are keeping the Cardinals and the Cubs together,
I am.
and you are keeping
The most storied rivalry in all of baseball.
Yankees Red Sox.
The
Yeah,
Yankees and the Red Sox, yes.
duh, brain fart
Those are
there.
the three the three rivalries under no circumstances am I breaking up because if you're talking about top 10 storied rivalries in all of sports,
Those
I
three are on
believe
there.
all three of those are in there.
Yeah.
So, my first division, I'm not going to have division names. I will have Eastern Western
I
Conference.
think you should make division names.
Um I have the Dodgers, the Padres, the Angels and the Giants.
Okay.
And those are the teams that are kind of the most bunched up. You also have the A's there for now, according to this map, but they're going to be moving a little bit.
You just assume they're going to be in Vegas and hope Manfred keeps to his word.
Yeah. So these are the
Hold
four.
on. I got to write these down. Or I got to write them on my list so that I keep track of them.
Yeah. So these are, I believe, going to be the four California teams, right?
So
Am I missing?
Dodgers, San Fran, Los Angeles Angels, and San Diego.
Yeah.
So this is your California division.
Sure. Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go with that. My second division. And again, this is assuming these reports are true that it's going to be Nashville and it's going to be Salt Lake City.
Okay.
My second division is also rough because I have the two teams in here that you don't know what to do with. Because I have the Rockies and I have the Mariners in here.
See,
And
this is why you need Portland.
Portland would probably make it a little bit easier, but
It
also
ties
the
them a little bit
Mariners.
together. The biggest problem is like Colorado and Arizona are going to be in different time zones than the other teams they're with.
Yeah, I believe there's three. There might be three different time zones in
Oh, that's
this.
not good. You
In
already
this.
messed up.
Well, so I have the A's, the Mariners, the Salt Lake City team, and the Rockies.
A's and Salt Lake City.
There might only be two time zones in here, but
I think that's only two.
okay.
That should just be Mountain and what's that Pacific out there?
Yeah.
What
So
are you
that's
calling this one?
what should we call it? We're teaming
Uh,
up on this now. You're more
Colorado,
creative in this than that.
Seattle. I mean, this is the hot mess division. This is the hot mess division.
Yeah.
So we've got the California
In terms of
division.
it's in terms of where they are and in terms of the quality of teams. 'Cause
Hot mess in all ways,
we have the Mariners, which is a good team,
but
in
don't
a
know how to win.
division with the A's who are bad, the Rockies who are bad, and this
And it
Utah
can't
expansion
win.
team who are probably going to be bad for the first 4 or 5 years and then win the World Series out of nowhere. If
And
if
Seattle will still be trying to figure out how to win a second round in the
yeah,
playoffs.
if history says anything about what's going to happen in the future, I mean, the Rockies went to the World Series not too long after becoming a team. I guess that was about 15 years. But
It
then
was a
the
while.
the Diamondbacks won the World Series, I think, in their fourth year of existence. The Marlins won the World Series in the fourth year of existence. Uh, Utah will probably do the same, or Salt Lake City.
I'm not
Um,
betting money on it. The
so yeah,
Dodgers are still spending $5 billion on their team.
so that's the hot mess division. This
That's right.
next division is going to be one of the controversial choices, I think, because I split up two teams that are in the same state.
No, keep the Royals and the Cardinals together. I want it to happen.
In this division, I have the Astros, the Rangers, and the Royals paired up with the Diamondbacks.
Astros, the Royals, the Rangers, and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I told you I'm not good at this.
I
Just
mean,
for
here's my issue. I feel like Arizona needs to go in the hot mess division, and Seattle needs to figure something out.
that was my whole thing because I originally did this.
This okay. Here's how you messed up. You refused to San Francisco and LA away from each other,
Yeah,
and I think that messes it up because one of those need to pull into the other division, and
it
then
does.
yeah.
It does mess it up, but I
Just
think
off the top of my head, I'm not looking at a map. I'm just
it.
visualizing where these teams are, and I'm like, it's just a little off.
So I originally did when I originally did this, I did this with Montreal in mind,
Hmm.
and Utah wasn't involved in this, and I had
Did it make it
the
easier?
it made it easier for the West Coast because I had or for the Western Conference
Yeah.
because I had uh the Diamondbacks, the Rockies, the A's, and the Mariners all in the same division, and the issue that I had there is I somehow had to make either the Yankees and the Mets in different divisions or the two Canada teams in different divisions.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I can't do either of those. So, and
No,
I don't think it matters as much if Missouri is split up.
you shut your mouth.
Um,
The
that's
Royals
just
want to have a rivalry with us so bad. Let it happen.
plus the Royals, for all we know, could be in Kansas by then.
They're not going to.
They won't, but they
I can tell
seems
you
like they're
as
trying to make it happen.
I can tell you from someone whose parents live yeah, 5 to 15 minutes from the stadium and pay taxes for them. They ain't moving. As much as my parents would like them to move so they could stop supporting them, yeah, it's not going to happen. And if it does, I would be shocked. But there's a lot more money out on the Kansas side that would probably be better for them.
So I kind of realized as I'm looking at my next division, this is
Hold on,
definitely
I
not.
got to name it.
Yeah, I'm just
This is
saying. For my next division, this is definitely not East and West. Um,
this is called the scorching division because all of those places are stupid hot,
yeah,
and we don't want to live there.
I'd hate
Actually,
to.
I very much enjoyed being in Arizona in the dry heat, but in the
Yeah,
summer in those places, you
I
might
like all these places. I
okay,
like.
you might not be able to hit a ball out of the ballpark without how humid and hot it's going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I like Texas. I like Arizona. Um, I mean, Kansas City is close enough to where I don't really have an
I
opinion.
was going
It's
to say
just,
no. I can give you an opinion. I lived there for 18 years of my life. It's not a great place. There's not a lot to do. It's
yeah.
fine.
Um, so yeah, the next division.
So now we're in the Eastern Conference.
No, this would be the
No, we
fourth.
still have one
This
more.
would be the fourth of the Western. The problem is,
It's the
I kind
Central Division.
yeah, I kind of in the middle of America, I kind of split it between North and South instead of East and West.
Yeah,
So
because there's so many teams right down the middle.
yeah, so the next division that I have, it's the Cardinals, the Cubs, the White Sox, and the Reds.
Reds. I knew that was coming.
Those are just the four like closest, most bunched up teams once you take out the Royals, and even kind of if you include the Royals.
I mean, I would like to see that exact division, but instead of Cincinnati, Kansas City in it, and it would be the Missouri teams and the Illinois teams all together.
I tried to do that. I in neither one of my possible realignments did I see a way for that to happen.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
just calling this the Central Division still because it's the NL Central, and we added the White Sox, who are the AL Central team. So this is still
yeah.
the Central Division.
Well, my next division is also
Oh,
four
why are you
central
doing this to
teams.
me?
It's also four central teams. It's just 2-2 this time. Or
Okay,
no,
well,
it's
I'll
three
rename.
it's three AL Central teams and one NL Central team.
Okay, I'll rename it something fun, so it'll be fine.
Okay, you want me to go to the next one?
Yeah, here we go.
So the next one is the Milwaukee Brewers, the Minnesota Twins, the Detroit Tigers, and the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, this is easy. On Detroit and Cleveland. This is uh, The nobody wants to live here.
Yeah,
This
kind
is the
of.
nobody wants to live here division. I don't want to live in Milwaukee. I don't want to live in Minnesota. Might be fun. I would go there and play hockey, and we'd be happy. But Detroit, no, hard pass. Like we have East St. Louis, 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from us. We're good on that. And then it's Cleveland at the Factory of Sadness.
I might live in Milwaukee because the Green Bay Packers would be closer.
Yeah, you're a Packers fan.
That would be the only reason, though. So that is the start of what I guess is my faux Eastern Conference
Yeah, the
thing.
nobody wants to live here Central Division.
Because it kind of doesn't make sense to me to have the Cardinals in what would be called the Eastern. I mean, I guess kind of. You could put the Cardinals
Here's
in.
my no, no. They've never been in the East. Even in all of their sports, they were NFC, they were Western Conference for hockey. Like
They are more Western
the
than.
Cardinals have been in the Central, which I don't know, Eastern and Western Conference or AL and NL is stupid in baseball anyway, geographically. So I guess that doesn't matter. But I feel like this is the North, and then you have Cleveland, who's a little more East. So I think this makes more sense.
Yeah.
And
So
honestly, Cincinnati could go to this division. Kansas City could come to us, and then can we kick someone out and put them out there? They just have a longer
not
flight.
not really. I mean, are we kicking out what? Would we have to put Cincinnati in that?
No, Cincinnati's coming here.
Cincinnati's already. Oh,
No,
Cincinnati's going to this
from the
division.
Central to the nobody wants to live here Central.
Okay. So
And
then
then
we
we
would
need to
have
move
to.
one of those teams to the Scorching Division, which we'd have to rename because they're not Scorching.
Well, the westernmost team between those teams is the Minnesota Twins.
Okay, Minnesota, you should move to the Scorching Division. Kansas City comes to the Central. Cincinnati goes to the Nobody Lives Here Central. And then you get Cleveland and Cincy together.
Yeah. Which also, are we really throwing shade at that division whenever both Chicago teams are in the
Listen, we
the,
could rename the
the
regular,
Central
what I call the regular Central. This could just be like,
and St. Louis?
we
Honestly,
could just, okay, we're going to rename it. Before it was Nobody Wants to Live Here Central. That one's staying. Regular Central now, we are calling Crime City.
okay, there we go.
It's the Crime City division. St. Louis, multiple Chicago's, Cincy, whatever. Like, if we move Detroit here, more murders per capita than any division on the planet. Right there.
There we go. That's our
Nailed it. Crime City.
yeah.
That's where we play.
So that was our fifth division. Our sixth division is just the South. It's the Deep South. We have the
Deep
not the Deep
South. That's what it's going to be
not the
called.
Deep South, but the South.
Nope, you already said it. It's the Deep South.
We have
Everyone take that for what you will.
we have the Braves, the Marlins, the Rays, and Nashville.
Atlanta. Oh, gosh, why? Miami. Tampa Bay. And Nash. Okay.
And those are just
The Deep South.
yeah. It's just
And I'm
the
glad you named it that because I might have come up with something that I say and I couldn't take back in time before I closed my mouth. And then we might
I
have got canceled.
I would be fine if it with it being called the Deep South division if the Rays and the Marlins weren't here and the Rangers and the Astros were.
It might feel a little better.
It would feel it I don't know if it'd feel better, but it'd make more sense.
Hey, listen, all I know is if you're playing in the Deep South, you're eating good. You've got ocean to get fresh fish, or you have South cooking. And either way, you're eating well out there.
Yeah. Excuse me. So
Could
then
also could also be the fatty division because everybody's eating so much.
I feel like it could also be like the crackhead division. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube?
Oh, well, you just did, so
I
it
just
is
did.
what it is. We'll find out.
Yeah. We're not monetized anyway. It's fine. So then we have two divisions left, and it kind of made it easier over here without Montreal
Yeah.
The seventh division that I have is the Orioles, the Nationals, the Phillies, and the Pirates.
Phillies and
And
Baltimore.
I don't know what we could name that, but it just makes a lot more sense because I don't even know where I had the Pirates in this whole situation. Or
I don't
maybe it
either.
was I deleted my work that I had whenever I was trying to include Montreal in
You
here.
threw away the picture with your crayon.
Well, no, I just have this Google Doc that I was doing, and
Google Doc.
it's just a bunch of I show you this picture, and I just have like a bunch of different
Random.
scribbles and a bunch of different colors.
Exactly. He had his colors out and was drawing pictures on it. We need a
Also,
name
I'm
for him.
looking at a different map right now just because, and it shows just how far away everything is whenever you look at where Colorado is compared to everywhere else.
It's so far away from everything.
It's yeah, Colorado and Seattle kind of can go. That's what I've.
Good luck with that. I mean,
And
Colorado probably should go. No pitcher wants to go there, so they'll never have a good team.
yeah, and no hitter wants to go to Seattle.
I mean, there you go. Move both of them, combine into a super team.
Or the worst team we've ever seen.
No, Seattle's got good enough pitching. They'll be fine.
And then the eighth team that I have, or the eighth division that I have, is I feel like the most like gimme division of them all. It's the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Mets, and the Blue Jays. Because then you have
Yankees, New
the
York.
two NL teams together, or the two New York teams together. You have the Yankees and the Red Sox together, and the Blue Jays kind of have to be in this division.
Yeah. We have the scorching division. We need something about cold for this one.
I mean, I feel like the cold division would be the no one wants to live here central.
Hmm.
Like Minnesota, Milwaukee. I mean, Detroit and Cleveland kind of aren't
Let's
super
see what
cold.
AI. This is this.
Using ChatGPT to
Yeah,
get
this is going to be the tundra. Welcome to the tundra.
the tundra.
It's either that or polar, and I just think you can't do polar because it's a stupid player I don't like that likes to be called a polar bear. It just wouldn't work because he's already in that division. So
He
we're going
might
with the
just
tundra.
re-sign with the Mets then, though.
Yeah.
So
Um,
looking at this now, how do you think I did?
I mean, I think it makes sense. I've seen some very similar to this, and by I think it makes sense, I think it makes sense for what would have to be done based on where teams currently are, because there are going to be some holes and flaws in it because of Colorado and Seattle mainly. I think there's some teams that per Eastern and Western Conference, you could probably rotate a little bit and it would be okay. But I think for the most part, this is probably what it's going to look like if they do four divisions per conference or
Yeah,
whatever they want to call it.
and it probably would have looked different if I would have taken that more into consideration than the rivalries, because the rivalries did kind of throw me off a little bit. But
Yes,
I feel like those rivalries those are the rivalries you have to have in the same division. Like it does not make sense to have the Yankees and the Red Sox in different division. It does not make sense to have the Cardinals and Cubs in different division. It does not make sense to have the Giants and the Dodgers in different division. Um,
don't mind me. I'm just over here trying to figure out what to call that one division we haven't figured out a name for.
okay. Do you have any other thoughts on realignment and expansion?
Um, I think expansion is long overdue in the MLB. Um, I was a kid the last time there was a realignment. I remember
But you were
it
alive.
happening. I I was more than alive. Um, I remember it happening and those teams going there. I mean, maybe I didn't grasp the concept as much, obviously, as I do now. Um, but the one thing that I'm interested in with expansion because I haven't seen it in baseball since I was a little kid, is an expansion draft and what that's going to look like. Um, Now, I am the hockey guy, so I've recently got to see expansion drafts the last few years with hockey a couple of times, and I think it's awesome. And you saw one expansion draft happen, and then the second one happened, and the second team really learned what not to do from or what to do from the other one, and the rest of the teams in the league went, "Oh, we can't do that again. That was stupid." To see it, but to see two expansions potentially in the same year come around and it be baseball. I Like I said, I haven't seen a baseball expansion, so I think it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out and what the protection rules look like
Well,
for
so
full ability of that.
the rules for a baseball expansion is every organization is allowed to protect 15 players in their organization.
Not like even not on their 40 man.
It's 15 players, I believe, total in their organization.
Okay.
And everyone else, if you're not protected, you're allowed to get taken. So those 10 guys, 11 guys on the active roster, I believe, are eligible to be taken. So you wouldn't necessarily. That's why they're normally in last place at the beginning because you're not getting those superstars, but
No,
you are
but
getting quality big league players.
yeah. No, I think about comparing it to hockey because that's where we've just seen it recently. Um, I think those rules allow for teams to build in a couple of different ways. Whether they were like, "Hey, we're going to take as many solid MLB players that are available as we can and try and at least compete somewhat, so that the fans want to come right away. It's not just a disaster of a team." And I think there's a way that you can go, "Hey, they're protecting their important players. They're leaving some big name prospects open, and we can start a farm system right away that looks legit and have a future, but we might stink for a few years." And that's not something with the NHL expansion draft that was possible because only players that had played a certain amount of games were eligible, and they could they could lock down a lot of players on their protection list to where it wasn't great. Um, so I think this is going to be a lot more interesting when it happens. I am interested to see how the realignment works and what teams get those expansions. To me, it's what team along with Nashville is getting an expansion because I really do feel like that is a lock that Nashville is getting a team. Um, I'm also with this. I think it's going to be interesting to determine how playoffs are going to work. Are they going to do division winner and two wild cards? Are they going to do we're going to do best records from each division? Doesn't matter if you're a division winner or not. Or division winners automatically get in, but it's going to be based 1 through 6 on records. So I think there's some interesting things that could happen here playoff wise that goes along with this as well.
Or it could just be the one that I sent you the other day, where it's just the top two teams from each division,
Yeah,
and you're kind of seeded from there, and you expand the playoffs to 16 teams.
yeah, that sucks though. I don't like that for a couple of reasons. One, I think that changes the playoffs a lot. But when you look at some of these divisions, like that hot mess division is getting two of Colorado, Seattle, the A's, and Salt Lake City. But then you have California, who's got the Dodgers, the Giants, the Angels, and the Padres. Or you have the Tundra with the Yankees, the Mets, Boston, and Toronto, who legitimately could be four teams in the playoffs this year. And probably should unless the Mets continue to implode.
Yeah, there's kind of no right answer.
And that's the only reason I don't think you can just go top two. Like, if they want to expand the playoffs, okay, cool, division winners automatically get in, and then the next four best records get in, and we will rank it based off of records. Or the top four division are the division winners, and then it's records after that. Like, you can do it a lot of ways. I just don't like two per division if the divisions look like this, where there's just just a horrific division. That's like neither of these teams or none of these teams should get in. And instead of other deserving teams, you're putting in two crap teams that are going to get eliminated immediately.
Real quick, I found an article from Sports Analytics, and I don't know if this is what they would assume. It's from 2023, but I don't know if this is what they assume an expansion draft would look like or what it actually would look like. But basically, what it says is each team is allowed to add 15 players from their organization to a protected list, which neither expansion team is allowed to draft from. Certain players are automatically protected. If signed at age 19 or older, players with no major league experience and less than 3 years of service are draft exempt.
Okay, I knew there had to be some kind of draft exempt because otherwise teams would be like, okay, we have to protect our superstars, our really good pitching on good contracts, and our top prospects, and that's going to leave a lot open.
And then it also says if signed at 18 or younger, the player is draft exempt if they possess less than 4 years of service. These draft exemptions do not occupy a space on the protected list.
Okay, 4 years of service as
If they get originally signed at 18 or younger, but then in their big league career they have,
I was going to say, so in their big league career, like they have to have 4 years of service in their big league career, not like
yeah.
four
So
years of professional
so
service.
I think about, I'll use Ivan Herrera as an example because we're Cardinals fans. Ivan Herrera would be draft exempt because he was signed originally at 16 years old, but he
And he
has less
has,
than 4 years of big league
yeah,
service
he's got
time at
like
this point.
1 year, 2 years.
Yeah. So Ivan Herrera would be protected automatically.
Okay. So
Uh,
this does change a lot to how I feel about the expansion draft. Like this, I'm interested to see what a, if I wonder if there's an article or someone has put out and made one of these, like if the expansion draft were to happen today, what pool of players would be available, like without anyone being protected, like just who is eligible, because I think that would be interesting to look at.
it says in this scenario, can say in this scenario, the expansion draft is in 2026. In this scenario, anyone drafted in 2024 and 2025 are automatically protected.
Okay.
And any high school draftee from the 2023 draft is automatically protected. And any international signee from 2023 to 2025 is automatically protected. So actually, Ivan Herrera would not be. It's not talking about major league service time. It's
Okay,
talking about service
that's what I
time.
was wondering. Is it major
So
league
Ivan
service
Herrera
time
would,
or
you
pro
would
service
have to
time?
use a
Okay.
spot
I was
for
gonna say because if it's major league service time, like that pool is just tiny.
yeah.
Um, for
It's
teams to be able to protect 15, that might be half their team.
yeah, so it's minor league service time. Any
Okay,
international signee from 2023 to 2025 is protected.
I like that
Anyone
better.
drafted in 2024 or 2025 are automatically protected. And then it has like a list of players that it would automatically, or that like it would project to have saved, but this is 3 years old at this point, and the first player listed on here is Anthony Rendon when I click on the Angels. So, yikes.
No one's taking Anthony Rendon.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Okay, I
So
came up with a name. You have two options. I've been pondering this the whole time. You can have either the Mid Atlantic Division or you can have the Keystone Division.
I think I like the Mid Atlantic Division more.
I mean, it geographically, it is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's boring, but it fits what they are.
Although, what is this other division?
So I will
The
go through our division.
you could look at the Orioles, Nationals, Phillies, and Pirates and be like, that's really the Mid
The
Atlantic Division.
the
It's not Atlantic.
Mid
Yeah.
Atlantic Division.
Yeah.
So our divisions are California, Hot Mess, Scorching, Crime City, all in the West. And then in the Eastern, we have the Nobody Wants to Live Here Central, the Deep South, the Mid Atlantic, and the Tundra.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Crushed it. Crushed it.
So that is what Major League Baseball is going to look like in 2029 when Bob Manfred stops. You don't have to watch baseball for the next 4 years because we just told you what's going to look like.
I mean, unless you want to know who wins awards or anything.
You don't need that. Shohei
We'll,
Ohtani.
we'll just watch the show. We'll tell you eventually.
Shohei Ohtani won the next four
In
MVP.
Cal Raleigh, big dumb boy. He's winning it. Come on, say it now.
Huh? I still
Say
can't
it.
yet. I think it's
Say it.
more likely. I'll say Cal Raleigh's going to win the MVP.
There it is. On
Aaron
board.
Judge is a DH right now.
You
He
heard it
probably
here first.
Aaron Judge isn't playing defense, I don't think, for the rest of the season. So that
Like, just think, okay, like, as we're talking about this realignment, think about this, though. Like, in the first round, we could have New York or Boston and Seattle. Like, that's why this has to happen. Like, you can't go across 3 time zones for a divisional series. It's bad.
yeah, I do think this makes more sense. I just kind of like the feel of the American League and National League, but it also might just be because it's the only thing I know.
That's why. I think about this, like, going back when the Central changed, when the Astros went from the NL to the AL, like, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. This is weird. And now you're like, yeah, it's just what it is. It makes sense. So I think it'll be weird right off the bat. Like, think of it like college football. Like, this year is going to be so weird in college football with
USC and Washington being in the Big
stupid.
Ten,
Everything's stupid. Like,
UCLA.
stop having divisions. Everyone's in the SEC or the Big Ten now. Like, it is what it is. We're the Big Ten with 28 teams. Like, come on. So, I mean, that's what they're doing with this realignment, and it makes sense of why they're doing it. And it also gives opportunity for, like, more geographic rivalries to develop potentially in this. Um,
Yeah,
like,
one thing that I kind of wanted to make sure they're in the same division is like teams like the Twins and the Brewers, who are kind of viewed as geographical rivals, but they're in
different divisions,
different leagues.
completely different leagues. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying divisions now because we just did an Eastern Conference, Western Conference, and it's making me a little off. So yes, yeah, like some of those, like why is Milwaukee and Minnesota not a bigger rivalry than it is outside of small market teams? Like right there, that should be a huge rivalry between those two, even if it's not a big national rivalry, that should be a big rivalry right there in that area because they are so close to each other. Now, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia should also be a rivalry, but Philadelphia spends as much on one player as Pittsburgh does their whole lineup. So
Yeah, you kind of need to win games to have a rival.
if Baltimore keeps like middling down the road, even though they have all this talent, that could be a fun rivalry between Pittsburgh, Washington, and Baltimore of who's going to lose more.
Well,
Look at our
Baltimore does
shiny
have
prospects that we're going to trade away.
say Baltimore does have all this talent, and they actually just refuse to trade any of it.
Well, Washington's got a lot of talent right now. We'll see if how it goes in the future, but they've got a lot of nice pieces too.
And I actually want to use that to transition into our next topic because we're talking about these young players, and we are, as of recording this, it is August 20th. So
Yes.
I we are getting close to the end of the season. We're getting close to September call ups. And I think it brings up a very interesting point, especially considering what's happened in the last week. Among top 100 prospects, 4 of them have been called up to make their big league debuts over the past week. So Bubba Chandler, who is Pittsburgh's current top prospect and is the number 7 prospect in all of baseball, he got called up either today or yesterday, and he will be slotted into Pittsburgh's bullpen for some reason.
Because he's been bad in AAA.
Yeah, well, also the Pirates' rotation has
Are the
been
Pirates.
bad. Jared Jones has been out, Paul Skeen's been great, everyone else has been kind of bad. So it might,
Typical Pirates rotation.
yeah. So you might want, I would, if I were them, I would want to have Bubba Chandler make a few starts. But
Yeah, at least see what a young guy's got. Like that's a future of your rotation between Skeens and Jones and Bubba and way down the road Seth. Like you've got a really good crop of elite talent pitchers. Um, you're not playing for anything at this point. Like throw him in there and see how he holds up a third time through a rotation because you're not going to get to see that in the bullpen. And if you're looking at him to start in your rotation next year, you'd like to see what it looks like when he's 5, 6 innings in and getting through that third rotation of the
yeah, and
lineup.
that's not even including Hunter Barco in that
Yeah,
that
forgot
rotation
about
too.
Hunter
So they have
Barco.
5 young guys that they're going to have come up in the next 2 to 3 years, as long as Paul Skeens and Jared Jones are still on the team.
I was gonna say Seth might have a little while longer. He's pretty young,
Yeah, he might be 5 years.
but he's
I
still. I still think he's got the best stuff in this draft. He's nasty.
Yeah, I misspoke. Bubba Chandler is the second ranked prospect in the Pirate system because Connor Griffin's number 1 overall.
Oh yeah, don't forget him. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Also, Samuel Basalo got called up. He is the number 1 prospect in the Orioles system, and he is the 8th ranked prospect in all of baseball.
And he's looked pretty good so far.
Yeah, he is a legit bat. I think he's probably going to be stuck at first base going forward.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think they're going to start him over Adley, no matter how bad Adley's looked.
unless they trade Adley for pitching, I
I
don't
don't know
think
if
they
they're
will.
ready. I don't know if they're ready to give up on Adley yet.
I don't think they will. I don't think they're ready to give up on Adley. Um, but man,
Plus, they traded Ryan
Bo
O'Hearn,
looks
and
good.
Ryan Mountcastle's a free agent after this year. So they're kind of wanting to see what their first baseman of the future is going to look like.
They could go sign one. I hear there's a
No,
polar
they're
bear
not.
that's
They're the
going to be a free
Orioles.
agent this offseason.
They won't though, because it's the Orioles.
That's true.
Um,
They won't spend on pitching either.
and they trade for Corbin Burns once
I
for
I
one
think
year, and
they'll
then didn't re-sign him.
yeah, I think they'll spend money on at least one pitcher this offseason.
We've said that before.
I think this is the year. Like they they've got enough bats there. They have to do something. Otherwise, that owner should sell the team.
He should do that anyway. Well, he did. This is a new ownership group, I believe.
Oh, okay. So maybe the see they're going to spend on a pitcher this
Maybe
offseason.
they will.
This is the year.
They better. But
I
also,
know
they're bad
another
this
owner
year,
that'd
so
like to
maybe
sell
they
the team.
shouldn't. Also, Owen Casey got called up. Owen Casey, I believe, is also the number 1 prospect in his system. He's for the Cubs, and he is the 45th ranked prospect according to MLB.com.
Is he's above is it Alcantara, the other center fielder that
Yeah,
they have? He's above
yeah.
him.
Owen Casey's the. I just double checked. Owen, he's the top ranked prospect.
Okay.
Uh, he has already played 6 games in the big leagues. He's hit a home run. He's
Was he called up before, or is this his first call up?
This is his first call up.
Okay.
I want to say he was called up
I think
last
he got called up
Thursday or Friday.
and then never played and got sent back down and then just got called up again.
I don't know about that. I believe this was his first call up, but I can't confirm that. But he got called up at some point last week. He has played a couple games. He's played 6 games, so you can't really say what he's done. But he, I mean, he could be a nice piece for the Cubs down the stretch this season. I don't know exactly where they've been playing him or where they plan on playing him because
Probably right
they've
field.
kind of got 3 good outfielders right now. They've got Ian
Do
Happ.
they have three good ones? Because PCA's been looking like trash for the last month.
Well, I mean,
At least at the plate.
they've got Ian Happ, they've got PCA, and they've got Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker got benched, so
No, he didn't. Did I not hear about that?
they're sitting him to let him refresh.
That might make a little bit more sense. They didn't bench him.
Yeah.
but they
He's getting refresh time. He's benched because he was hitting like crap.
his last game, yeah, his last game at least he played right field.
Owen Casey.
Owen Casey, yeah.
That's his normal position.
He's played one game in left and three games in right. So yeah, I guess they're just not going to play Kyle Tucker down the stretch, which that's an interesting.
No, it's not going to be down the stretch. It'll just be a few games, and then you've got a fourth outfielder that you can rotate and give guys days off.
Yeah.
Like
And then Noah,
PCA needs a rest.
yeah,
I enjoy it.
he's been what he's been. He was
I
an
mean, he's
MVP
still an elite
candidate.
outfielder
He
either
was an
way.
MVP candidate the first half of the season,
Yeah.
and
Well,
he's
his hitting came back down to earth and
yeah,
then
but
plummeted. But
he's still probably going to win the Gold Glove this
he's
year.
winning the Gold Glove in center. There's not a question about that in my mind. He's still an elite defender, no matter what his hitting is, and I think that was always the case. So
And then Nolan McLean also got called up over the past week. Played he got called up on last Tuesday or last Wednesday, I believe. He is the number 3 prospect in the Mets system, and he's number 37 according to MLB.com.
has
He
he
pitched,
pitched yet for them?
yeah, he's pitched one game. He had 5 1/3 shutout innings.
I was gonna say he looked really good in AAA from what I saw. Um, Under a 3 ERA in his starts, and he was like 87 innings already. So he's looking pretty solid down there. And that Mets team could use a little boost. So
They could.
any starting pitching that's going to get you 5 to 6 innings that are shut out, and then you pray all your new acquisitions that we thought were going to be awesome don't blow up.
They might have him pitching in the postseason.
I think there's a very real possibility if they get there that they do that.
So, we've seen these 4 prospects in the top 100 get called up, and it kind of begs the question: who else from the top 100 prospects could you see getting called up as September call ups? And
I can tell you who I can tell you who should be up already but isn't.
yeah, I mean, he's the guy that you're thinking of is number 1 on my list. I
But
have,
there's a stupid president of baseball operation and a stupid owner that's going to screw it all up because they're stupid.
yeah. So
So I
before,
hope John
before,
Mozeliak and Bill DeWitt III, you're listening because you're idiots, and this is why your fan base won't go to games no more.
before we get to him, I can tell you on my list, I have 10 guys.
Ooh,
Most of them will not get called up.
my list is not that high.
I also have 3 guys on here that have already played in the big leagues. Like I have Jordan Lawler on this
Yeah.
list. I have Moises Ballesteros on this list, and I have Bryce
Uh,
Matthews on this list. All these guys have played in the big leagues. They're just still considered prospects because they haven't played enough. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, I think we're gonna be Cardinals fans for a little bit, and we are going to rant because I believe the number 1 person on our list
On everybody's list.
that
This isn't a
should
Cardinals thing. This is an MLB thing.
you're probably right.
And
Um,
honestly, if you look at the top 100 and you look at the players above him, you can easily make a case that he's the best prospect in baseball right now.
I don't know if you make the case for the best, but
I think you can.
he's up there. We're talking about JJ Weatherholt. This season at AAA, JJ Weatherholt, who is 22 years old, has played shortstop, he's played second, he's played third, he's played the outfield. He's shown versatility. Uh, he in AAA in 27 games has a 295 batting average with a 387 on base and a 638 slug.
638 slug.
That is a
Insane.
that's a 1.025 OPS. He has 7 doubles, a triple, and 9 home runs.
In
JJ
37 games.
27.
27. 27 games, and he's got 9 bombs.
Yeah, JJ Weatherholt's balled out, and
Tell me those numbers at AAA don't deserve to be considered for top prospect in baseball. Like, I'm sick of looking at the top prospects all the time. Like, Connor Griffin, good player. Kevin McGonigal looks solid. He should probably be promoted to AAA now. Leo DeVries has not been good. Sorry. He's had an up and down year and hasn't looked great. Sebastian Walcott, his numbers are terrible right now. Um, I know you refuse to call it Jesus Made, but I will always call him Jesus Made. Um, he's in high A ball barely, and then there's JJ Weatherholt. Like, why are we talking about a AAA player who's hitting over 1,000 on or OPS, who's got 9 home runs in 27 games at AAA, and plays every position you could ever want him to? How can you not consider that to be the best prospect in baseball?
I would probably have him third behind Griffin and McGonigal just because
I
they're
have McGonigal above Griffin in mine, but I have Weatherholt right there with him.
yeah, I
And
like I
that's
said,
not
I
a Cardinals thing. Like, that's looking straight at the numbers, production wise, versatility, where they're at. Like, I know these players get ranked higher because they're highly touted prospects. They're super young with a high upside. But at some point, I don't care about the high upside when you're not producing. Like, you can still stay high in the ratings, but I don't see how you can be like a top 10 guy if you haven't produced all season long and we've just redone these prospect rankings. Like, you have to start taking some things into account. But anyway, JJ Weatherholt has balled out. And as you heard my mini rant earlier, a little excessive, but I can't with this ownership group anymore. Like, it's been national media, baseball heaven, St. Louis, best fans in baseball. Like, they all get said, not just by St. Louis, but by national media. And now national media has criticized St. Louis fans because in the last 5 years we've gone from first to second to fourth to 19th in attendance, and they're trying to blast fans. But I'm going to tell you, from a fan who is here that still loves and supports the Cardinals and follows them daily, this is not a fan problem. This is an ownership group who refuses to spend money, who has a Pobo who is the most smug, arrogant man that talks down to all of the fans like they're idiots,
and ownership group.
and ownership group, and they blatantly lie to us, and they've refused to put a decent product out there. Literally, our owner laughed and told us it makes me giggle when fans threaten to not show up like that's going to make us change anything. This is why the best fans in baseball aren't at games anymore. Because you guys are making us want to strangle everybody, mainly you, and want to run you out of town. For the longest time, I'm like, I love that we have this ownership group that's willing to spend money, that's going out and making trades. And then analytics came, and the Cardinals were ahead of everybody. We're not anymore. We are below most teams at this point, to the point of Heim Bloom has to come in, and we have to revamp the whole farm system, and we have to get all of this new pitching lab and stuff in because we haven't been doing it over the years
And
because our ownership group is cheap and refuses to do anything. And now they're saying, we're probably not going to call up JJ because we don't really want to start his clock early and we're not going to win. So, and I'm over here going, we have less than 45 games. He's not getting the 130 at bats. You are not losing a year of service. He will still be a rookie next year. And if this dude is not on the team next year, sell the team. Like, build a with the third. Sell the team to someone who doesn't care just about money, but enjoys baseball and wants to see a winning product, because you clearly don't. You are in like the top 8 richest owners in MLB, and you act like we don't have any money to spend. Stop making Ballpark Village. Stop putting money everywhere but into this team. Call up your best players, see what you've got, see where he can play at the MLB, see if he's ready for that in these last 40 games of the season. And if he's not, fine. But if he is, you need to know that going into the offseason to know where he can play and who you can trade to make this team better and get some pitching. But it's insane to me that potentially the best prospect in baseball is not going to get a September call-up because you don't need him on the 40 yet. It could cause a roster crunch. Dude, we're playing shorthanded right now because you refuse to call people up.
something that I want to point out that you had mentioned earlier, going back to the Cardinals thing real quick. You said in 2023, the Cardinals were second in fan attendance. In 2023, the Cardinals went 71 and 91.
Yep.
I don't know how much clearer you can see a fan base that loves their team and will still go out and support their team when they did nothing that offseason to address their pitching, which is something that everyone knew was needed, except for extend Miles Michaelis, which ended up being a terrible decision.
We all knew that was going to be bad.
But 71 and 91 that season, and they were still second in attendance. To where now they're probably looking at another 500 ish record, and we're 19th in baseball, and we're getting called out by Colin Coward, who doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to
Idiot.
baseball or anything. Um, and like I think you hit the nail on the head. Cardinals fans get sick of it after a while. It's not that we're not spending money because I believe we're normally around 10 to 12 ish in payroll. We're just spending it poorly. We're spending it on Dexter Fowler. We're spending it on Mike Leake. We're spending it on Miles Michaelis. And it's every now and again you strike gold and you trade for Paul Goldschmidt and you trade for Nolan Arenado and you do these things that make you seem like a genius, and then you look at who you're trading with and it's like, oh yeah,
The
you're
Rockies.
gonna make a 4-year-old look like a genius. That's about what we're looking at here with those trades. uh so that's all I'll say on that. In terms of JJ, what really sticks out to me is what the Cardinals did in 2023 when they called up Mason Wynn in the
Yep.
last little bit of the season, and they knew he was going to struggle. They knew he was, and he did, very much so. But that time that he had struggling in September of 2023 was the reason why Mason Wynn right now is a good Major League Baseball player and is potentially the best defender in
He's a
baseball
gold
right
glove
now.
shortstop. And if
Yeah,
he's not, that's insane.
he might win the Platinum Glove this year. He is
Yeah.
having one of, according to outs above average, I believe he's having one of the best seasons in the 2000s defensively, like
Yeah,
a
it's crazy.
historic level season. And he's a quality big league bat. He's about a league average big league bat. You could give JJ Weatherholt that time to get acclimated to the big leagues because he's
Mhm.
been hitting really well in AAA. The big league is a big difference in AAA.
Yeah.
So getting him some at bats to where he is ready for 2026, because I think everyone expects JJ Weatherholt to be on the big league roster in 2026, if not on the opening day roster
Better be.
at some point in April or May.
I
He
legitimately
needs to be
think
on the
if
opening day
he's
roster though.
I legitimately think if he's not on opening day roster, Cardinals fans may riot. Like legitimately, there might be issues.
And I think that will depend on if Nolan Arenado is still on the team. Um, which that depends on if someone will
Bye.
take Nolan Arenado.
Cut him.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think we both agree. If any
Good deal.
prospect needs to be called up this September, it's JJ Weatherholt. Who are some other prospects that you see in this top 100 that you could
Um,
theoretically see getting called up?
it's hard because I think there's some names that could get called up, but performance wise, I don't think necessarily deserve to get called up, but I think we could potentially see them. I look at someone like Andrew Painter with the Phillies getting the call. I see Bryce Eldridge getting a call in San Francisco, even though he struggled at the plate recently. Um, I don't think Travis Bazana just yet. He just got called up to AAA and he's been okay, but I don't think there's a need for Cleveland to rush him. Um, Same thing, Carson Bench with the Mets within the outfield. Like he just got called up to AAA. He's been okay, but I don't think there's a need to rush him. Jordan Lawler will get called back up if he hasn't already. He's been up before. I keep hearing Trey Savage with the Blue Jays. He just hasn't been good in AAA. Like why throw the kid to the wolves when he's struggling in AAA already? Like I know sometimes that skip from Double A to the majors happens with a short stint in Triple A and it works out. He's just young. I mean, he's 22, but I don't see the reason why you've got to kind of rush it. One that I could see possibly if they really need some help is Jet Williams with the Mets. But the one that I really think will happen and should happen and probably should have already um, is South Stewart with the Reds. He's been playing really well, and that's a team that needs a bat in every way desperately. And he's proven in AAA he's a solid bat that can play towards the middle of that lineup. And we've talked on past episodes that the Reds need to learn how to hit and they need to put multiple pieces in that lineup to be able to hit, not just one. And I think that could be the start of one. And like you talked about with Wynn and potentially Weatherholt, giving him a little bit of a runway because I think that's a guy that's going to be in their lineup next year, and let him go through the majors at the end of this season when there's probably nothing to lose for them at this point. Get some of those bumps and bruises out of the way so he can learn to adjust. He can go into an off season seeing how pitchers are attacking him, um, and work on some of those things that he's struggling with. Like, who's to say he's not going to swing at every low slider out of the zone? Like, okay, that's what pitchers are doing, or they've adjusted and now they're pitching me inside and jamming me. I need to be able to readjust to that in the batter's box, or I need to have a little bit, tweak my stance a little bit so that I can get inside, or I can get those away pitches to foul them off, or whatever it is. I just think someone like that, who on a team who desperately needs hitting, that's somebody that honestly I don't know why he hasn't been called up yet.
I think on my list, everyone at some point has been mentioned. Uh, JJ Weatherholt, we talked about in extensively. Andrew Painter, don't think I don't know if he's ready necessarily, but
I don't think he's ready.
I think the Phillies it probably be useful to see what you have with him right now, especially with Zach Wheeler. You don't know what his
When's he going to be
timetable
back?
is for return, especially with it being he had a blood clot in either his shoulder or his arm. It's at upper right extremity.
Yeah, he had it removed, so we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah, but that's not something you play with. So
No.
I think it would be helpful to see what you have right now with Painter, and then maybe in 2026 you can make some sort of adjustments with him.
Where's Harry Ford gonna play?
So that's one guy that hadn't been mentioned. Is I think Harry Ford could get called up because
I think he's ready, but where's he gonna play?
so he's been playing a lot of corner outfield.
Okay.
So he could
I was
do
gonna say
that.
you can't catch him.
You could to get
I mean, if you want
Al
to give
some
days
DH
off,
days.
yeah, like you can catch him rest days, but like it can't just be like every fifth day you start him. Like where if you're calling up a prospect, you kind of got need to give him a little bit of a runway.
Yeah, I think Harry Ford plus Harry Ford needs to be on the 40-man roster this offseason.
Yes.
So I think at this point you might as well do that. Also, they have Dominic Canzone currently playing right field, who isn't. You could definitely
Yeah.
improve there. And then also their backup is Victor Robles, who is suspended. That was a wild. That
Dude, what kind of savage chucks a bat across at the pitcher? I loved it, but I'm like, this dude's a psychopath.
yeah.
Um,
He needs
I I
to,
didn't
and
I
he's
didn't get to watch the game, so obviously I don't know what was going on at the time, what had happened in the past. But
so he got hit.
come
I
on, don't
think
use your hands, go fight him, don't throw a bat.
I want to say he got hit 5 times in the last 5 games, or five
So
times
it
in the
was
last 3 games.
a Wilson Contreras type situation here.
Yeah, and I think it was the third time that specific pitcher had hit.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm not condoning throwing
It
the
was
bat.
Joey. It was Joey Estes, who's a
Okay,
pitcher in the
yeah, yeah,
A's. Pitcher
yeah.
with the
I know
A's.
Joey Estes. I'm not condoning throwing the bat, but I understand his anger. You better believe if that was me, we would have squared up and I would have charged that mound. You're not hitting me 3 times same pitcher, and me not coming after you. Sorry, you are trying to hit me. And if you're not, you need to control your stuff and not throw inside up at my face.
There's also things out there saying that he had been going, like Victor had been going through some personal things. I don't know if I think his mom might have died recently,
Yeah.
which
Just
is
fields to the fire.
yeah. But also, like you said, if you're gonna get that mad, go out and fight him. Throwing a
100%
bat,
I'm trying not to. No.
throwing a
I
bat
mean,
is
technically, they could press charges. He could get arrested. Like, that's assault with a deadly weapon,
yeah. He got a 10 game suspension, and I don't think
as
the
he should.
appeal is gonna go anywhere.
No.
All that being said, Harry
There's
Ford
spots.
Harry Ford could end up either playing right field or maybe you could have him in left and Randy can go play right.
Yeah. I
Jorge
mean,
Polanco is their DH, so
maybe they can figure out someone who knows how to hit in that batter's eye.
yeah, maybe one of those exists outside of.
I had a couple question marks of people that I didn't know if they were ready or not. They seems like there could be potential, but I don't know what their team wants to do, especially one because it's the Tampa Bay Rays. And I don't know what Carson Williams is going to do or if they're ready to call him up, but that's an interesting one. And another big one that I kind of think is ready and I would like to see him up is Chase DeLauter in Cleveland.
So Carson Williams is on my list, and it's just because the Rays. I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs this year.
No.
So again, it's kind of in that Mason Wynn type situation where Carson Williams is close. He's been playing pretty well, I believe, in AAA, and
Yeah.
you could give him a month to see what you have. And especially with them trading Jose Caballero, you don't really have a whole lot blocking him. I don't believe. I don't know what the Rays team looks like anymore.
I have two more for you.
I also have two more.
Okay, my next one is Justin Crawford with Philly.
Okay.
They they've been looking for outfield help. Obviously, we know they traded for Harrison Bader, but that's doesn't mean you can't give a promising prospect a look. Let me pull him up here.
What is Justin
21.
Crawford ranked right now?
He is where is he at? 68. 21. He's hitting in 102 games at AAA. He's hitting 330 with an 844 OPS.
My issue with him is
And 41 stolen bases.
it's a lot harder, I believe, to find. I mean, I guess it's not really. You could play him in left field.
Like he's
Like,
giving you speed, he's giving you defense.
has Max Kepler done anything this year?
Has Max Kepler ever done anything?
The first like month he was in the big leagues. Yeah, negative .7 WAR. I could see Justin Crawford.
Like, why not? And then my last one for you is Robbie Snelling with the Marlins. He's only 21. This year, let me pull up his stats real quick. This year in AAA, he's only pitched 6 games in AAA so far, but he's got a 1.34 ERA. Walked 7 to struck out 43. So he's looking real good in AAA. And it's the Marlins, they're going to trade 18 pitchers or something this offseason. So why not get a look to see what Snelling's going to look like if he's ready or not for the big leagues to end the season? And then you're like, hey, we're going to go ahead and trade Cabby, or we're going to go ahead and trade Sandy. And we've got a replacement already right here who's pitching well in AAA. Like, let's see what he looks like in the bigs.
I still can't believe that return they got for Tanner Scott. That's
Insane.
every time I think about Robbie Snelling, I was like, he was a part of a trade for a rental reliever.
Yeah.
What are the Padres doing?
I mean, I guess if we want to go further, Spencer Jones.
So now we're getting into my guys. One of the guys
I'm
I
kind
want
of
to talk.
shocked Spencer Jones hasn't been called up.
Yeah, I want to talk about my two real quick because Spencer Jones is one of them, especially with not knowing what Aaron Judge is gonna like when Aaron Judge is gonna be able to play defense again.
I mean, he's almost hit your rule. Like he's 24, 25,
Yeah, Spencer
and
Jones was drafted in the first round in 2022 out of Vanderbilt. He's now
yeah, and
24 years old. Uh, this year
he's
in
got
triple,
just under 1,000 OPS in AAA.
yeah, 39 games and 996 OPS.
And in Double
He
A, he was like almost that as well in like 49 games. Like he's been really good.
Yeah, if Judge is going to be DHing for the rest of the regular season and maybe even into the postseason, I think it would be really beneficial to have Spencer Jones playing right field for you. And then the other guy that I have is another guy who plays for a playoff contending team.
Bryce Matthews,
Um, Not Bryce Matthews. We talked about
not
Bryce
Bryce
Matthews already.
Matthews.
It's Carter Jensen.
Oh, okay.
Um, I think right now they if you look at the Royals catching staff, they traded Freddie Fermin, so their
Hmm.
backup catcher is Luke Maley.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know how much he's raking in AAA.
Carter Jensen has a 972 OPS,
972
a
with
9
11 bombs and 36 games.
yeah. He is a guy
That's a
that
catcher.
you can have him catch, you can have Salvi DH. You can have
Which you probably should.
yeah, you can have Carter Jensen catch almost exclusively and have Salvi exclusively play DH first base.
Yeah,
And
because
you can
they don't have any bats anyway.
yeah, and you can swap him out with Vinny and make sure they get the rest
Yes.
time that they need. And I don't know if it's going to be enough to get the Royals into the playoffs, but if anything, as we've been talking about, you're getting your catcher of the future reps.
Yeah, and that is your catcher of the future in Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Blake Mitchell, but Carter Jensen seems to be the much better prospect right now.
They'll turn him into a first baseman slash catcher slash DH slash trade piece.
Yeah,
That's what the
that's
Royals do.
that's my list right now. But those were my two sneaky, like probably won't get called up, but should get called up, especially
I
Spencer.
don't know. I don't know what the Royals will do. Like they're big about service time, like because they're not a team that's going to be able to spend big money to keep their players. Not that I think that catcher specifically is going to command a crap ton when he gets to that point, but I mean, if you're a catcher and you've got a 850 OPS and a solid on base and you slug a little, um, and you know how to handle a pitching staff, like that's a hot commodity. You might end up paying a ton for it. But the Royals are a weird one, just because of how they handle their prospects. Like I would have never thought in a million years they would have brought up Jack this season, um, because they're eating a service year, and if he turns out to be what they think he can be, that's not a player that they typically have been able to sign and hold on to. Now they gave big money to Witt as soon as they could to lock him up. So maybe that is a little bit of a changing of philosophy with them. But I don't see any reason why Spencer Jones doesn't get called up for the Yankees. It makes too much sense.
Because the
Um,
Yankees are stupid.
well, they are. But it makes too much sense. With Judge only DHing and that whole fiasco of Aaron Boone saying this and Judge saying, I don't know why he said that because he hasn't even talked to me, and this whole battle going on. To me, this just screams Aaron Boone's gone this off season. Um, but if Judge is going to be DHing for an extended period of time, and honestly, it's probably best that he DHs and just rests and recovers as much as possible this year.
I don't know if I'd
And
go best because that means you have to have Giancarlo Stanton playing defense.
no, Giancarlo Stanton's coming off the bench to pinch hit, and that is it.
He's been hitting well.
Yeah, off the bench to pinch hit.
I've also heard rumors that he might play first base, which that's wild in and of itself. Um,
You are going to put him at first base, and you can't figure out ways to get Ben Rice into the game, who can play first base.
yeah. Um,
Also, why is he not catching over Austin Wells? Stupid.
because Austin Wells was a top prospect.
I don't care. He doesn't hit.
Spencer Jones also needs to get put on the 40 man in the offseason. So again, you
I
might
get
as well do it
those.
now.
Those are the big things. Like for people who just look at prospects and are like, "Oh, they're really good. Why aren't they getting called up?" The 40 man is everything. in baseball. And a lot of these guys, if they don't have to get put on the 40 man and be protected from the Rule 5 draft, ownership group isn't going to do it before they have to. Like, that's the whole J.J. Weatherholt situation. Like, he does not have to be protected in the Rule 5, so they don't have to put him on the 40 man. They can wait till the Rule 5 happens and then be like, okay, now we're good. We can put him on the Rule 5. But these players that don't have any options and can be chosen in that draft, like, there is no reason they don't get added to the 40 man now and get called up and have this short opportunity to prepare them for next season.
Yeah, to anyone that doesn't know what the 40 man is, there's the 40 man roster is basically the pool of players that's allowed to get called up to the big leagues, which is the 26 man roster.
Yeah.
And if after a certain amount of time with an organization you don't get put on the 40 man roster, you automatically get put in what is called the Rule 5 draft. A team is allowed to draft you from that team, and they must put you on the big league roster that entire season. And if Spencer Jones doesn't get put on the 40 man, he will get drafted because he is ready, and there's no reason
he will get drafted first.
Yeah, and there's no reason why the Yankees shouldn't have him in the big leagues already. But yeah, I was looking at the standings in the Carter Jensen situation, and the Royals are 2.5 out.
Oh, they're a team we need to talk about now.
Yeah, hopefully they'll still be there next week when we go back to normal episodes. But
I mean, I grew up in Kansas City, so let's hope they're there unless they're playing the Cardinals.
I didn't realize.
And honestly, right now, I hope the Cardinals lose. So screw you, Mo. Screw you, Bill.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Royals were that close. Carter Jensen catching and Salvi DHing might really help this team.
I mean, you need Salvi bad in that lineup, but he is old, and those knees are not good. He's always been one of these. Like, I don't know who would win in a foot race, him or Yachty. Like, they're that slow, and his knees are not holding up.
Salvi be younger than Cody.
Salvi. So, fun fact.
35, just older.
Yes. Fun fact: my mom works at Hallmark in Kansas City, and they do stuff with the Royals all the time. And she won some prize, and the prize was Salvi got to dump a bucket of water on her head. So there's a picture in their house of her getting water dumped on her head by Salvador Perez laughing.
That's awesome.
But yes, he's an awesome hitter. And that bat needs to be in that lineup because that team does not have a lot of bats. And like we said at the deadline, I like their soft buy. And Yaz has looked pretty solid. They've got some little bit of help. So if you can bring up a catcher who can hit and you can get a DH that is consistent in Salvi, and it keeps him a little bit longer, fresher because he's not squatting all day, that's a recipe to steal a couple of wins.
Yeah, I think that might be where we cut off for today. I thought this was gonna be a shorter episode because my throat was sore, but again, we're an hour 40 in. So, do you have any other thoughts before we head out of here? Besides, screw you, Mo.
Sell the team, build the wit the third.
Yeah, there we go.
Cardinals fans will come back. And Colin Cowherd, shut up.
All right, guys, that is where we are going to cut off for today. Thank you guys for watching, especially if you're someone that watches all the way through the video. You don't have no clue how much we appreciate your support. If you guys like our content, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on Spotify, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, follow the podcast, download it, give us a 5-star review, do all that stuff. We will be back to football next week. I believe we might be starting basketball pretty soon. We'll see how.
Soon.
Yeah.
It won't be me.
Nor will it be me. That was part of our changes. Some of our hosting changes. Randall will be on for basketball with Drew, a new host that will be joining us pretty soon. I don't know when they're going to start yet, but I know Drew is itching to
probably
start.
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know Drew is itching to start soon, so I'm sure we'll probably do that. And then also hockey will be coming up at some point.
Let's go.
Cody will be doing that one. I most likely will not. We'll see. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.